All right, let's dive straight into this explainer and completely demystify the new rules for contractors and engineers bidding on Indian government projects. Now, if you operate anywhere in the construction and engineering space, you already know that keeping up with regulatory shifts isn't just about ticking a compliance box, right? It is literally the absolute baseline for your survivor and success. So today, we're breaking down a really crucial document that completely redefines how massive infrastructure projects are going to be handled moving forward. What we're looking at right here is the newly released Central Public Works Department, or CPWD, General Conditions of Contract for EPC Projects 2024. And listen, this isn't just some minor, everyday update. This manual dictates the strict, brand new standards for modern engineering, procurement, and construction projects. Whether you're bidding on a percentage rate basis or an item rate basis, this is the definitive, heavy-duty rulebook that governs your entire contractual relationship with the President of India. So here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, the 2024 EPC Rulebook. Number 2, choosing your execution mode. Number 3, tender rules and bidding. And finally, number 4, surviving the seismic test. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the 2024 EPC Rulebook, and those absolutely essential administrative updates. Now, you can easily grab the PDF of this document off the official CPWD website, as you can see referenced in this August 2024 memo. But there's a very specific directive here you need to catch. The memo explicitly states that earlier publications are totally out. They are no longer to be read alongside this new manual, because this 2024 edition incorporates all the relevant past circulars. But pay close attention to the instructions for the Notice Inviting Tenders, or NIT, approving authorities. They are heavily advised to strictly correlate their commercial versions against the official PDF online. Why? Because if any errors creep into a contract that differ from the official version, that is on the sole responsibility of the approving authority. No pressure, right? But get this, what's really interesting here is that an official physical copy of this massive regulatory manual costs exactly 150 rupees. That's it. The exclusive rights for printing and marketing it have actually been handed over to the Jain Book Agency in Daryaganj, New Delhi, meaning absolutely no one else has the right to print these documents. It's kind of a great reminder that even though we live in this digital age of quick PDF downloads, the physical, legally binding text is strictly controlled, yet still totally accessible to anyone prepping a serious bid. Moving right along to Section 2. Choosing your execution mode, and exactly how that defines your contractor responsibilities. Okay, so your actual scope of work all comes down to the specific mode outlined in Schedule F of your tender. Mode I is the whole shebang, the most comprehensive. It demands that you, as the EPC contractor, prepare all detailed architectural, structural, and MEP designs, plus shop drawings, procurement, and construction, all based on basic architectural drawings from the CPWD. Mode 2 pulls your architectural scope back a bit. Here, CPWD gives you the detailed architectural drawings, but you're still on the hook for the structural and MEP designs, along with procurement and construction. And then there's Mode 3, which totally limits your design scope. Under Mode 3, you're strictly doing procurement and construction based on the architectural, structural, and services drawings that are fully provided by CPWD. Next up, Section 3, Tender Rules and Bidding. This is essentially the financial and legal gauntlet. So here is a massive takeaway. By simply participating, you are legally binding yourself to absolute secrecy. The contract actively mandates a declaration that you will not communicate any information derived from the plans, designs, or records to anyone outside of authorized personnel. And furthermore, you are expressly forbidden from using that information in any way that is prejudicial to the safety and integrity of the state. It's a pretty stark reminder of the sheer national importance placed on these central public works. And when it comes to actually putting your money on the line, your earnest money deposit, or EMD, must precisely take one of these authorized forms. You have to scan and upload the receipt issued by a commercial bank using one of these 5 specific financial instruments. And you really don't want to mess this up. If you fail to furnish the prescribed performance guarantee in time, or if you just fail to commence the work, you face the absolute forfeiture of your deposit and your performance guarantee. Plus, if that happens, you are entirely debarred from participating in the retendering process for that specific job. They are leaving absolutely zero room for non-committal bidding here. All right, finally, Section 4, Surviving the Seismic Test. Let's talk about precast standards in Zone 4. Before you pour a single ounce of concrete, if your technology falls under precast construction systems for buildings in Seismic Zone 4, you've got to pass what's called the pseudo-static reversed cyclic test. It sounds intense, and it is.
What's truly fascinating about this rigorous test is that it manages to simulate intense seismic forces on a full-scale prototype without even needing a massive traditional shake table facility.
And the parameters here? Incredibly strict, for obvious safety reasons. The test has to be conducted on a typical 3-story setup of a multi-story building. And it doesn't just test the strong points, it actively targets the absolute weakest and most flexible connections in your design. We're talking full-scale precast components that must include every typical connection you'd use in the real build, meaning interior, exterior, corner, vertical wall-to-wall, and horizontal wall-to-slab connections. The methodology is highly controlled. Step 1. The bottom of the first story is anchored solidly to the strong floor of the testing facility. Step 2. They hook up the upper stories to these displacement-controlled actuators. Finally, Step 3. While applying a simulated vertical gravity load, the actuators run at least 3 full positive and negative loading cycles. They start at a tiny 0.1% drift and just aggressively push it through stages, 0.5%, 1%, 2%, all the way up to the maximum drift excursion. They literally push the structure until it hits a maximum lateral force of 3 times the design base shear, or the absolute upper limit of a 6% drift. If your structure shows premature failure before hitting that threshold, it fails. If the first sample fails, they test a second one to reconfirm the pattern. If both fail, there is no way around it. That specific technology configuration is banned from the work. Oh, and keep in mind, this has to be done at a reputed government, academic, or R&D institute in India, and the contractor carries the entire financial burden of those testing charges. So as you gear up to navigate this new 2024 EPC blueprint, this is the ultimate question you really have to answer before submitting that bid. Can your precast structures withstand that 6% drift? Because understanding the administrative rules, picking the absolute right execution mode, getting your financial deposits completely dialed in, and ensuring your engineering can literally withstand the immense pressure of that pseudostatic reversed cyclic test, those are the keys to surviving and winning these CPWD projects. Are your connections rock solid? And are you truly prepared for the strict new reality of the 2024 EPC manual?